watching MT.
You're listening to the Music Video Guy Podcast.
Music videos aren't art. Now, before you click off or start hammering out what that angry comment or wonder why the music video guy of all people is saying that, hear me out. This isn't going to be some cynical, contrarian takedown. This is the beginning of a question that I think gets to the very heart of what makes this medium so powerful, so frustrating, and so endlessly fascinating. But to get there, we have to start with that provocative, almost heretical statement. So, for the sake of this argument, let's define our terms. What is art? For centuries, philosophers have tied themselves in knots over that question. But for our purposes, let's use a simple, romantic definition, the kind we all sort of instinctively feel. Art is creation born from an internal need for self-expression. It's the painter who has a vision that they must put on canvas, the poet who has a feeling that must be captured in verse. Art, in this pure sense, exists because it demanded to be created, separate from necessity or the demands of the marketplace. Now, what is a music video? At its most fundamental, irreducible level, a music video is a commercial. It is a promotional tool, an advertisement created for the explicit purpose of selling a product. That product is a song. That song, in turn, is meant to sell an album. That album is meant to sell concert tickets, and all of it together is meant to build the commercial brand of an artist. A music video is born, almost without exception, from commercial necessity. And right there, that's the central conflict. It's the ghost in the machine of the entire medium. A music video is a piece of corporate marketing that is desperately, passionately trying to convince you, and maybe even itself, that it's a piece of art. It exists in a permanent state of tension between these two opposing forces: the pure expressive impulse of creativity and the cold, hard obligation of commerce. And it is in that gap, in that beautiful, messy, and often contradictory space, that the story of the music video truly begins. Part 2, the case against art, the commercial cage. So if we accept that a music video is fundamentally a commercial, where does that leave us? Let's push on that idea for a moment, because it's a tension that exists in almost every creative field that intersects with a budget. Think of a Super Bowl commercial. A team of brilliant writers, directors, cinematographers, and actors can pour millions of dollars and an almost obscene amount of creative energy into a 60-second spot. It might be beautiful. It might be hilarious. It might be so genuinely moving that it makes you tear up. But its ultimate purpose, its entire reason for being, is to forge a positive emotional connection between you and a brand of beer, or a new truck, or a snack. It's an exercise in high art persuasion. Does that make it art, or is it just a very sophisticated advertisement? The music video lives and breathes in that same gilded cage of commerce. The late 1990s, the so-called shiny suit era, is a perfect case study. This was the age of the superstar director, most notably Hype Williams. When a record label hired Hype, they weren't just hiring a director. They were purchasing an aesthetic. His signature style, the dramatic low angles, the surreal fisheye lens, the high gloss featureism, that was a brand in itself. Videos for artists like P. Diddy, Busta Rhymes, or TLC were given budgets in the millions. They were cinematic events, filled with groundbreaking special effects and high fashion. But they were also meticulously crafted advertisements, designed to project an image of untouchable success, power, and wealth, all in the service of moving units for a record label. The video was the brand. The art was the packaging. This entire ecosystem was fueled by a single powerful gatekeeper, MTV. The network wasn't just a platform. It was a star-making machine that systematized the entire form. A video's success, and by extension the song's success, was directly tied to its ability to perform within that system. Getting into heavy rotation was the goal. This meant that videos were often created with a specific commercial objective in mind, tailored to appeal to the sensibilities of the network and its advertisers. The creative process was, by its very nature, tethered to a corporate bottom line. This isn't so different from the world of film. We hold the Academy Awards up as a celebration of filmmaking as the highest form of art. But we all know that Hollywood is an industry built on opening weekend box office returns and billion-dollar franchise potential. It's a business first, an art form second. And for its first few decades, the music video existed almost entirely within that same logic. It was a product designed to sell a product on a platform designed to sell other products. So, from this perspective, the case seems pretty clear. The music video is a commercial artifice, a beautiful and entertaining one, perhaps, but a commercial nonetheless. So, is that it? Is the conversation over? Is the entire medium just a creative wasteland of corporate synergy? Part 3, the pivot, a new lens for evaluation. Okay, so they're commercials. Let's concede the point, at least for a moment. The commercial origins of the music video are undeniable. Its success is tied to a corporate ecosystem. Its primary function is to promote a product. But does that mean we dismiss the entire medium as a creative wasteland? Does that mean that every frame of Thriller, every shot of Sledgehammer, or every boundary pushing idea from directors like Spike Jonze or Michel Gondry must be viewed through a lens of pure cynicism? Is there no room for genuine expression within a commercial framework? I don't think so. In fact, I think the opposite is true. The commercial constraints placed on the music video forced it to evolve in a way that freeform art never has to. It had to be innovative. It had to be memorable. It had to grab you the first 10 seconds and hold your attention, or risk being lost in the endless shuffle of the 24-hour programming block. So maybe we've been judging the medium by the wrong criteria all along. What if we stop trying to force the music video into the box of art with all its romantic and philosophical baggage? What if instead we evaluate it through a different lens? What if the primary goal of music video isn't necessarily to be art, but to be communication? Now think about it. Art communicates, of course, but not all communication is art. The specific, unique job of a music video is to act as a tool of translation. It takes an abstract medium, sound, rhythm, melody, raw emotion, and translates it into a tangible, visual language. Its success, then, isn't measured by whether it's pure or free from commercial influence. Its success is measured by how effectively, how creatively, and how powerfully it communicates the essence of a song, the identity of an artist, or a feeling that words alone can't capture. Once we start looking at the music video not as a compromised art form, but as a specialized language of communication, its entire history begins to look different. It's no longer a story of selling out. It's a story of finding a voice. It's a story of how a generation of artists and directors working within the belly of the commercial beast figured out how to use corporate tools to create moments of genuine, lasting, and powerful expression. Part 4. The evolution of visual communication. Once you start seeing the music video as a language, you can watch it evolve almost in real time, from simple sentences to complex poetic statements. In the very beginning, the communication was direct and primal. Look at the famous 1985 clip for Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues. It's the ultimate anti-performance. Dylan isn't trying to sell you the song with a flashy show. He's standing in an alley, stone-faced, dropping cue cards with fragments of his own dense lyrics. The communication here isn't about the song's melody. It's about the persona of the artist. It communicates a feeling of rebellious, intellectual cool, a playful disdain for the very idea of performance. It's a statement. Around the same time, the Beatles were communicating something entirely different. Their promo films and later their feature film A Hard Day's Night weren't just about showing the band playing. They were about communicating the feeling of Beatlemania, the wit, the charm, the chaotic energy, the sense of four friends against the world. It was all there. They were building a visual identity that became inseparable from their sound. But the true big bang of the music video as a unique communicative tool came, as many great innovations do, from a scheduling conflict. In 1975, Queen was booked to play Bohemian Rhapsody on Top of the Pops, but couldn't make it. As a solution, they shot the promotional film to air in their place. What they created was a landmark, the haunting four-part harmony shot, the operatic staging. It was the first time a video truly communicated the epic scale and strange theatrical grandeur of a song in a way that no simple stage performance ever could. It wasn't just a recording of a band, it was a window into the song's soul. Then came MTV, and with it, money and ambition. The language of communication started to become an event. No one understood this better than Michael Jackson. Thriller was more than just a promo. It was a 14-minute short film directed by a major Hollywood director, John Landis. It communicated pure, unadulterated ambition. It proved that a music video could be a cultural destination in itself, something you would tune in specifically to watch. The communication was no longer just about the song. It was definitely now about the spectacle. But inside this new high-stakes system, the communication also started to become self-aware. Take Dire Straits' Money for Nothing. As we know, frontman Mark Knopfler was a video skeptic. The director, Steve Barron, embraced this. He used pioneering CGI to create the blocky, working-class world of the song's narrators and used stylized rotoscoping to make the band look like the very rock stars on MTV that the characters were complaining about. It was a video that used the language of the medium to critique the medium itself. The communication became layered with irony. Now, this paved the way for a video like Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer, which represents the peak of artistic ambition as a form of communication. Here, the message is pure kinetic joy. To communicate the song's funky, celebratory energy, director Stephen R. Johnson orchestrated a grueling frame-by-frame production that pushed Gabriel to his physical limits. The monumental effort, the sheer creative energy poured into every second. It isn't just a gimmick, it is the message. It is the visual equivalent of the song's sound. This brings us now to the auteur era, when the director became the star. Working within the commercial system, these filmmakers acted as Trojan horses, using corporate money to create deeply personal works. You had Spike Jonze, the master of subversion. With videos like Praise You, he would turn the tools of commercialism against themselves, communicating a playful anti-establishment ethos by celebrating amateurism and authenticity. You had Michel Gondry, the master of dream logic. With videos like Everlong, he would communicate the subconscious feeling of a song through complex, often handmade practical effects, translating an internal state into a physical space. And then you had Chris Cunningham, the master of the unsettling, with videos like Come to Daddy by Aphex Twin. He pushed the boundaries of what a commercial form was allowed to show, communicating darker, more challenging themes and proving the language could be used for horror as well as beauty. Each of these directors and so many others were using a music video not to just sell a song, but to build a world, to tell a story, to communicate an idea. They were using a commercial form to create personal art. Part 5, Conclusion, Redefining Art Through Communication. So let's return now to where we started, to that deliberately provocative statement, music videos aren't art. After looking at their history, it's clear the truth is far more complicated and I think far more interesting. Their commercial origins are definitely undeniable. They were, and still are, created to serve a corporate purpose. If we are to be strict purists, then no, they do not fit the romantic ideal of art created solely for its own sake. But to stop there is to miss the entire point of a music video. Within that commercial framework, a powerful and unique visual language evolved. That language, born from the necessity to sell, quickly learned how to do so much more. It learned to communicate persona, to build worlds, to tell stories, to visualize emotion, subvert expectations, and to critique the very system that created it. The constant tension between art and commerce isn't the flaw of the music video. It is its defining feature. It is the friction that creates the spark. It's a space where a director like Spike Jonze can use a record label's money to stage a guerrilla style performance that makes fun of the idea of a polished production. It is a space where an artist like Peter Gabriel can endure a physically punishing shoot to create something so joyous and innovative it changes the entire industry. The music video is a Trojan horse. It's a commercial product that smuggles artistry, personality, and subversive ideas onto our screens under the guise of promotion. It doesn't just sell you a song. At its best, it deepens your relationship with it. It gives you a sound you love, a face, a story, a feeling, a world. And when a piece of commercial work communicates an idea so effectively, so beautifully, and with such lasting cultural impact that it fundamentally changes the way we see and hear the world, well, at that point, the debate over whether or not it's art becomes completely irrelevant. It has already achieved art's most important function. I'm Maui, the music video guy. Make sure to follow me for more music video breakdowns.
You have been watching MT.
You're listening to the Music Video Guy Podcast.